Right. Tell me, the first big one I'm going to ask you is this. People think that you are unnecessarily chasing Zoomlion. What is the issue between you and Zoomlion?
There is no issue between Manasseh and Zoomlion. There is a big issue between Zoomlion and the Republic of Ghana. And that issue is corruption.
Wow.
Which is facilitated by our politicians, the NDC and the MPP. So there are a lot of examples, but there's one example I'll just give for the audience to know.
Yeah.
If anybody out there thinks that there's a problem between me and the Zoomlion, 2017, I did a story titled Robbing the Assemblies. And everybody listening to me, if you go to your assembly, you find out that they struggle to get money for very basic services. Some don't even have a tissue in their washrooms. Yet they pay so much to this company. And beyond that, their assembly's common fund is taken from source, and they award very fraudulent contracts to Zoomlion.
Right.
And for some reason, NDC, MPP are all united behind this fraud. And this example I'm giving is a contract to supply 1 million liter beans, or the waste beans that we have
with wheels under.
Yes. And then 900,000 pieces of bean liners, the polythene bags that people
in
use
the
to
bin.
cover.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
The waste beans, at the time they were procuring this, and I must say that Julius Debra, who was the chief of staff, he issued a letter to the Minister of Sanitation, local government and redevelopment at the time, Collins Dowda, to award this contract. And at the time these two people were awarding this contract, that same ministry had awarded a contract to Qualiplus to supply 150,000 waste bins. The company gave them 100,000. When they went to the assembly, they realized that, look, in the rural areas, people don't really need waste bins, the 240 liter bins, the big ones, because they don't generate waste. The plastics there are not much of a problem. And if you come to the center, the big cities, go to East Legon or those places that they have money to pay, what the sanitation companies do is that they will give you the waste bin, or those people can even buy, but sometimes they give it to you for free, and then when they are coming to pick or collect it, they make their money from that. So it wasn't so much of a problem. So the ministry awarded this contract, and they couldn't distribute the waste bins, and so they found it very difficult to go to the company for the remaining 50,000. So I had letters that the company had written that come for the remaining ones. They say, wait, even 100,000 you've taken, we've not been able to distribute it. So when we finish, we will come for the rest. This was where the arrangement was. Then this same ministry, with the backing of the chief of staff at the time, awarded a contract to now go and then procure 1 million waste bins.
Wow.
You have procured 150,000. You've taken
100,000.
You cannot distribute 100,000. You're going for 1 million. That was where the problem started. And the other problem is that this the cost of the new ones that they awarded to Zoomlion and his companies, other companies. The cost was double that of the waste bins that the previous company had supplied. So there was an issue of cost inflation. The most outrageous part, and that's the most outrageous contract I've seen, the most outrageous thievery, I don't want to call it corruption because it's a pure theft, was the bin liners, those robbers. I didn't want to use any other company to do the comparison. So I went to this same company, the Zoomlion company that got the contract, and I said, I want 500 pieces of bin liners, 240 liters. And they were selling a piece to me at 98 pesos.
Wow.
So they gave me an invoice. The state was buying 900,000. So economies of large scale would require that the state's one would be cheaper.
Subsidized to come down, yes.
But even if we claim that the government doesn't pay maybe as early as possible, so maybe they want to keep it there to make profit, fine. But they were selling a piece to me at 98 pesos, less than 1 cedi. But guess how much they were selling a piece to the government of Ghana?
Through Zoomlion.
Yes. 67 cedis.
Wow.
67 cedis. That polythene bag, black polythene bag, they were selling a piece to the government at 67 cedis.
More than 670%.
Yes,
increase.
and they were even they quoted in dollars. So as the days went by and the city was the city was falling against the dollar, they were going to make more profit. So a contract that should have cost us less than 1 million cedis, Zoomlion and the government through Collins Dowda and then Julius Debra, they were selling that to us at 63 million cedis. Okay, so at the end of the day, if you see this, and you are someone like me who has grown up in a very difficult situation, you go to your district, Bongo, and then the very basic health facility in the Bongo hospital, you can't get. I was there at a time, and an NGO in the US had donated a 40-footer container of medical equipment for the Bongo hospital through the initiative of one of the citizens. The assembly didn't get the money to even transport it to Ghana and Clare. But if you go there and people are dying, needless deaths, the children and then the females were all crammed in the same ward.
Wow.
40-bed ward. So sometimes they could put as many as 3 children on the same bed in the hospital. And the place was just like a normal living room, very crowded. So if you see all of that and you realize that, look, this is a company which is being facilitated by the government, and there's a contract that should cost less than 1 million, and that contract ends up being inflated by so much, and then we're now going to pay 63 million cedis for a less than 1 million cedi contract, then I don't think anybody should be happy.
True.
So whenever I write about these things, you find people who come attacking. Even the Ghana Journalists Association attacked me when I did this story.
Oh, really?
And this was the story that resulted in Paul Adomotri doing this editorials and attacking me. That was the first time he started on this robbing the assemblies. Thankfully, after the publication, the money hadn't been paid, the contract hadn't been delivered. So thankfully, that contract was cancelled.
Oh, it was cancelled?
Yes.
Oh,
so
wow.
we saved 74 million US dollars. At the time, it was 330 million Ghana cedis. And if it were today, we are looking at over 700 million Ghana cedis that was saved.
That's a lot of money.
Yes.
With this bean liners issue and all that, do you think that Collins Dowda and Julius Debra connived with Zoomlion, or you think they were ignorant about the prices?
They couldn't be ignorant because I know those two men. They are intelligent men. If they were idiots, I would know because I've interacted with them before. The question is, which of our listeners out there would buy a polythene bag, 67 Ghana cedis a piece? Polythene bag, the very small, ordinary polythene bag. All they are going to do is to use it to cover your waste bin so that when you drop any food items in there, it wouldn't stick. So you put it there, remove it and go and throw it away. There is nobody who would do that with their own money.
But what did Zoomlion say about this?
Well, he issued a press statement saying that the contract required that they pre-finance it, so they will pay. They will buy it before they are paid. That's how government contracts are done anyway. But even if you said the government would delay, so they are selling it to the public at 98 pesos, less than 1 cedi. If you double it, or if you make it 3 cedis, it will still be high. That would be around 200 or so percent, but it will still be high. But you don't end up selling something that you will sell to the average person out there, the ordinary person who is even buying less, 98 pesos, less than 1 cedi. Then you are selling it to the government at 67 cedis. So if the public or somebody is going to buy for their private business, they are paying 900,000 cedis, but you are selling to the government 63 million Ghana cedis. I think this is thievery. And anybody cannot feign ignorance in this case.
Have they ever invited you to come over for a talk or a discussion, Zoomlion?
The only time I went there was when I was doing the JIDA investigation in 2013. That was the first time I went there. And I went to get an interview. It ended up not being an interview. I think I met Paul Adumochri, the communications manager at the time, Robert Coleman, and then Ejapon himself. So we're 4 in that meeting. And then later on, they wrote to respond to some of the issues. But in that investigation, even till date, that's what hurts me a lot. The people who sweep the streets, they are employees of the state. The government employs them through the youth employment program. As we speak, the state has a budget of 600 Ghana cedis per sweeper.
Wow.
But the
Monthly?
contract says, yes,
For
monthly.
month?
Monthly. The contract says that 420 cedis should go to Zoomlion, so that those who sweep from Monday to Saturday should go home with 180 cedis a month.
Out of the 600 Ghana cedis?
Out of the 600 Ghana cedis.
Why?
This is part of the conspiracy and connivance between Zoomlion and the state actors. It doesn't make sense that the one sweeping is taking 180 cedis, and the one who claims to be supervising the sweeper takes 420 cedis. And there is a claim which no government official has been able to authenticate yet, that the people on the payroll, there are 45,000. So if you do the math, Zoomlion goes home with 90 million Ghana cedis a month from that contract. Meanwhile, the person who goes to battle the fields in the market, in the streets, they have no health insurance, they have no pension, they have nothing. So if you go there and then you fall sick as a result of the field, or even you get knocked by a car because you're sweeping the street, if you are injured or whatever, it's your own palaver.
Why has the government not been able to deal with this Zoomlion issue up till now?
When MPP was in opposition, they issued a press, they held a press conference. One of the last press conferences they held before the 2016 election. And MPP, it was addressed by Boache Jako, who was then the policy director. And he said that John Mahama was not able to cancel or deal with contracts of that nature because he was personally benefiting from it. That's what the MPP said. That press statement is still online. If anybody Googles Zoomlion and government are defrauding the state, MPP alleges. When you Google it right now, wherever you can read. This is what the MPP is saying. Now, MPP wins the election. And when they were having their Thanksgiving service, Zoomlion was in their midst. Not long afterwards, Akufo-Addo, who claimed to be the anti-corruption Caesar or whatever, was now going about praising Zoomlion. So if at the time the NPP said that John Mahama couldn't cancel the contract because he was personally benefiting from it, the question we should be asking Akufo-Addo and his team
is he also benefiting
from it?
Interesting.
Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. Okay, any human being who has a little bit of conscience will tell you that it doesn't make sense that you look at your fellow human beings to go and work the streets for a whole month and you give them 180 cedis. How much do their dogs spend in a day? Their dog food, if they want to buy. Their children, and some of these people have children. The 600, even if we were to give all to them as their monthly whatever, it wasn't going to be enough. I don't think it's even enough in today's economy. Then somebody will sweep the market. Just imagine it raining and then the market, everything is so choked, very dirty. They'll still go there and then struggle with this field. Then you are giving that person 180 cedis. That's less than $20 a month.
Yeah.
And this is the wickedness we perpetuate on our fellow citizens.
Fire,
we say
fire,
slavery,
fire,
but this is just
fire,
modern day
fire.
slavery. And when you want to raise these issues, there are people out there who believe that you have no right to talk about it. You only talk about it because you have to hate a certain Zoomlion. You have to hate a certain Akufo-Addo. You have to hate John Mahama to raise these issues. It could have been any of us. Those who have been maltreated are human beings like us.
91.3 FM.
His name is Manasseh Azure Awuni. Oh my God. Born in 1985. All the way from Bongo. went all the way down to Ketekrachi. He's in Accra right now. Battled inferiority complex, battled poverty. I'm going to be asking him if he's been able to do away with poverty later in the show if you have time. But in the interim, we are looking at his work. He writes as well. He has books out there. But before we look at some of these things, I'm going to look at another. Did Paul Adumotri say you asked for a bribe or you were given a bribe by Zoomlion? Did he ever say that?
When I was doing this investigation, I'm talking about the robbing the assemblies. There was some story we had to do on Joy FM, on the morning show or so. Then they kept postponing it until one day, one of my colleagues said, well, one of the people on the show or on the team said they had got a call that they should be careful with the agenda I was pushing because I was not happy with Zoomlion because I had gone to demand money. I said, what?